Hey, what's going on? My name is Connor. If you are new to the channel, I myself make videos on self-improvement, how to improve your life, and really a big part of my journey has been my walk with Christ. This has been my journey to faith, and recently I actually just got baptized, and I wanted to today share, hopefully this can encourage someone out there who's maybe considering the church, maybe has heard maybe some good things, maybe some bad things. Either way, I do want to share my testimony, which I actually read from a piece of paper. Today I'm going to read it from my laptop. I read it in front of a crowd at my church as I was getting baptized very recently. So here goes nothing. But my name is Connor. I am excited, to be here today. I'm fortunate to have grown up in a loving home. I was raised by God-fearing parents who put me and my two siblings through a K through 8 school where religion class was consistently on my schedule, right? The seed was planted at an early age. From as far back as I can remember, going to church was just part of my week. It was what I did with my family every Sunday. I decided to go to a private high school where religion class was also in my schedule, but mainly for the academics and the opportunity to get a scholarship at some college, but a part of me wanted to have Jesus around. I got involved with ministry most Sundays and really forced myself to stand before God, but something was missing. Even though I had everything in front of me, things just didn't stick. I was partaking in the rituals, and from the outside, it may have looked like I was firm in faith, but my heart just wasn't fully there. I struggled with anxiety throughout high school and just felt a lot of anger inside of me because I didn't know what to do with it and I didn't know what my suffering meant. Fast forward to college, and the temptations around me just 10x'd overnight. I had a super busy school schedule, but I actually made time to be a degenerate. I just wanted to party, and this led me deeper into drugs, alcohol, and a few other things that I'm not proud of. COVID came around, and I found myself completely disgusted at the person I was. Isolation got the best of me. I was lost and started doubting everything. I couldn't look into the mirror without pure hatred. I'm not sure if this was depression because I refused to see a psychiatrist at the time, but it sure felt like it. I started going into deep rabbit holes on the internet and YouTube to find out how I could stop feeling so horrible. And I didn't know it at the time, but God was actually working on me. He helped me quit smoking and helped me reevaluate my destructive thought patterns. Once I got back up on my feet, I dove right into atheism. I was set that I was in control of everything. I didn't feel like I needed any higher power, and I thought that if I just willpowered my way through suffering, that I could actually build a good life. Once I moved to Charlotte, this is where things started changing. Within about a few months of moving, I started training at a Krav Maga gym in Uptown. Here, I met some really cool people, including some Christians and Life Church members. For context, this is the church that I was saying this testimony in front of. At the time, a good friend from college, who had also moved to Charlotte, introduced me to some of her friends from her Bible study group, which also happened to be through this church. So Christians just started appearing around me, right? I'm sure that you all agree this was no coincidence. God was bringing me back to him, and one person he worked through specifically was my Krav Maga coach, Molotov Mitchell. I was blessed to learn so many lessons from him on how to be a man in the physical realm as well as the spiritual realm. Molotov was very open about his faith, and when God took him away from me, after just a year of knowing him, I completely fell apart. This was a dark time. I was devastated, and I never thought this would happen to someone so close to me. My heart was all over the place until the celebration of life came around in September. A previous student who had moved to Dallas actually came up for the service and asked me if I wanted to go to his church on Sunday that he used to go to when he lived here. I had heard good things about this place from other Krav students, as well as, meeting a couple friends from that friend in college. So I thought, why not? That day was the day where I finally got it. I felt this overwhelming grief crash over me during worship, but at the same time, I felt this weird clarity. I would have said it was the sermon, the familiar faces, the recent events, the heightened emotions, but it was all of it. I felt as though God was speaking directly to me that day. I realized that I needed Jesus. It was an easy call to go to this church the next weekend, even easier to go the next. That college friend I mentioned also happens to share her apartment for our Bible study with the group that I'm a part of, that we get together every Tuesday and study the Word. By no accident, this community I stumbled upon has completely changed my life. My sanctification is still very much a work in progress, but honestly, God seems to be working overtime on my heart. I chose baptism because I want to make it known that I've given my life to Christ. I'm not ashamed to share my faith, and I want to give thanks to God because He's been there since day one and never gave up on me. Wrapping up here, I want to share this verse that's been appearing over and over again. Psalm 144:1, "Blessed be the Lord, my rock, who trains my hands for war and my fingers for battle." How blessed am I, Lord, to be one of your soldiers in the fight against evil. Thank you. I will see you in the next one. Peace.